Racing to the Breeders' Cup, just 10 days away until the World Thoroughbred Championships and just 1 day until pre-entries are announced at 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central tomorrow, Wednesday. This is your Breeders' Cup update for Tuesday, October 22nd. Let's take a look, get you up to date on everything happening for the Breeders' Cup, starting with Midnight Bisou, the 7-for-7 runner on the year, one of the leading contenders for Horse of the Year and for the older female division. Midnight Bisou hit the track at Santa Anita yesterday, worked 5 furlongs, and that was her second workout at Santa Anita, preparing for the distaff, where it looks like she's going to face a field of 9, including a couple of horses that recently ran in the Zenyatta Stakes: Ollie's Candy, Secret Spice, Paradise Woods, and La Force, all coming out of the Zenyatta Stakes, and going to take a look at Midnight Bisou in the distaff. Meanwhile, Yoshida for Bill Mott galloped around the Santa Anita racetrack, arriving on Monday at Santa Anita. And, you know, this horse definitely going to get some play. I'd say right now you're looking at about 7, maybe 8 to 1. He's winless on the year, but he does have a win in the Grade 1 Woodward Stakes last year on the dirt, and then finished 4th in the Breeders' Cup Classic to the winner, Accelerate, last year. So I think Yoshida definitely going to like the distance. Going to need a full field. He'll get that. 12 horses are lining up for the Breeders' Cup Classic, and he should get a little bit of pace with some horses on the front end. Meanwhile, out east at Belmont, Code of Honor went 5 furlongs on a sloppy track. That was a nice looking workout. This kind of another pocket rocket type horse, smaller horse, but boy, he's really gotten good. Seems to have bounced out of the most recent race, the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Now, traditionally, that JCGC Breeders' Cup Classic double has been pretty tough on horses. A lot of trainers don't like to run back-to-back 10-furlong races at the end of a long campaign. So I would have to say myself, if Code of Honor can make this Breeders' Cup Classic a winning effort, especially after shipping out west and closing the year with 3 straight 10-furlong victories, I think, you know, I'd have to take a long look at him as my Horse of the Year, especially if Bricks and Mortar were to lose and Midnight Bisou not be that impressive in the distaff. Looks like Serengeti Empress is going to get a new jockey. Flavian Prat from the West Coast going to take Serengeti Empress in the distaff division. That's their first preference. The filly and mare sprint is the second choice for Serengeti Empress, as she'll be cross-entered in both races. Meanwhile, Snapper Sinclair, another one of the Steve Asmussen trainees, he's going to be running in the Dirt Mile, also going to enter in the Turf Mile, but the Dirt Mile is his top preference. He worked yesterday on Monday, 5 furlongs in 101 and 2. Improbable, a bullet, 6 furlongs, 111 and 4, and it looks like we're going to see him finally doing what he should be doing all along, a Dirt Mile, and rocking and rolling with that speed. See what he does if he can put in a winning effort, taking on Mr. Money and a horse like Omaha Beach. It looks like they might get a rematch, and it might be at the Dirt Mile distance at Santa Anita. 8 Rings, 6 furlongs in 114 and 2, more of a gallop, a little bit slower workout. The track is still at Santa Anita, playing a little bit slow, as horses, when they work out 6 furlongs, tend to be closer to that 113, 114 range. That's why Improbable was pretty impressive yesterday, and we'll finally maybe get a chance to see him at the mile distance. 8 Rings, of course, going to the juvenile, and he's going to take on a rematch with American Theorem, and then he'll get a couple of new horses, including, it'll be interesting to see in that juvenile how many horses we actually get. We're going to be looking at right now maybe a field of 9 or 10 horses, and the top contenders, coming from that Keeneland Futurity, and, a couple other horses out from the West Coast that might not be as good as 8 Rings. So we'll see how that field shakes out, but I think it's probably going to be a field of 9 for the juvenile. Street Band, another distaff contender, went 5 furlongs at Churchill Downs. She's now going to ship out to Santa Anita and get ready. And, of course, remember that sprint is a $2 million purse, and the Dirt Mile is only $1 million. I think that could sway a little bit of the factor in the decision for Matoli to see which way he goes. Wanted to take a look at some of the contenders for the 5 furlong turf Breeders' Cup Sprint. Bound for Nowhere still has not determined if he's going to be running in the sprint. I have a feeling they're probably going to lean that way. Eddie Haskell, one of the top 3 choices. Nice record at Santa Anita, 12 lifetime starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and 4 thirds. 10 for 4, 24 lifetime for Eddie Haskell. And I also like the fact that Infamous looks like he's going to be going off a nice couple of efforts at Kentucky Downs and then Keeneland. He definitely should like that 5 furlong distance, and he'll be motoring late. And then I thought Totally Boss had a nice winning effort in his most recent race at Kentucky Downs. And the venerable the son of Munnings, who beat American Pharaoh. He's now 7 years old. It looks like he's going to be pointing for that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Breeders' Cup Sprint at 5 furlongs on the turf. That's your Breeders' Cup update for Tuesday, October 22nd. Who do you like in the Breeders' Cup Turf? Remember, like this video. That gets it into more people's feeds. Share and also subscribe, as we're going to be previewing all 14 races from the Breeders' Cup at Santa Anita this year. And ring that bell for notifications. Subscribe. We're just 10 days away from the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships.